Oh, welcome back. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in back to the channel. Today, we are going to make the Miata's fitment look a little spicy. A little minty spicy. We're going to be getting the car lower to the ground just a little bit. Not crazy like the blue Miata, but just to where there's no fender gap. In order to achieve this, we do have some spacers for the BBS wheels that we bought for the car, as well as a fender roller. We actually bought one. This is going to be our first time actually trying out fender rolling. Usually, there's a guy on Instagram. I'll leave a picture right here for you. Fender rolling by Tony. He is the man when it comes to fender rolling. He's done a bunch of actors' cars. The guy has been in Super Street magazine. I think he's actually a journalist as well and a photographer. The guy does it all. Super nice guy. But unfortunately, he hasn't had any time for us recently, and we got to get a move on the channel. Normally, I trusted him only with our fenders for every car that we've ever owned, but I think it's actually time for us to step up. We're a growing YouTube channel. We need to start branching out on new things and trying things that scare us, because fender rolling can be scary. You don't want to fuck it up because your car will look like trash if you do it wrong, basically. Yeah. Plus, the car did just get a paint job, and you can crack the fenders. There's a lot that goes into fender rolling that people don't normally see. You get the kids who like to put metal pipes and bats and wedge that in between their wheel and just drive forward and backwards till it clears. Stop fucking rolling your fenders with a baseball bat. That shit looks whack. We like it clean. We like it done right. So enough procrastinating. Let's get outside. Let's look at how much gap we have. Let's see how much we have to lower the car. Let's get started. All right, guys, so starting with the front, it is a little bit lower, actually a lot lower than the rears. We might have to raise it. We might be able to get away with this height, and we might be able to drop it. We won't find that out until we get the spacers on and the fenders rolled, so we're gonna start with that first. But real quick, we'll walk to the back side. So now the back side, we can fit our fist in there. It's not good. We are gonna have to drop this. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some decent fitment out of this side. The front is going to be an issue in its own. But for now, we're going to start with the front. We're going to get the car up in the air, take off the wheels, and then start rolling the fenders. This is actually a lot harder than it looks. Basically, what I'm gathering from this is you go slow, keep a lot of heat. Fortunately, since the Miata's fender arch is so small, I've heard that people modify these fender rollers to shorten them so you can get a better angle out of it. We almost need to do that, but I think I can get away with not doing it. Hopefully I don't mess this up. So it looks like I have to actually pound it out with the rubber mallet just a little bit because of the lack of angle that we have from this tool here. It almost rolls the fender out. So I'm just starting it a little bit with the hammer or the mallet and pushing it into the, basically just starting it out. That was nerve-wracking. But we're good. We're gonna take this off now and throw a spacer on. It's what I've been waiting for since we got the new wheels. I don't think I ever want to do this job again. It worked well, but I could see where people would continue to keep going. because it is like, oh, well, like I'm gonna keep going here, get a little more angle out of it, and then, oh, now this place needs it, and you just keep working your way until it's pulled way too far.
I don't see any dents or anything.
Let's see what a spacer looks like. Look how big that is.
Holy shit.
30 mil.
Really?
It's that's why I kept rolling, because it's a lot of metal. Fuck.
Let's see.
I feel like this is already flush with the. Oh man. Okay, let's see how it looks first. I think we're gonna get some poke actually. Damn. Okay, well those won't fit, so let's just get this on the ground, see what it looks like. That looks great. We didn't fuck it up.
Wow, holy moly. That's so crazy.
Okay, we're just gonna move on to the back side now because I don't want to do the front again. That's the lamest shit I ever seen. Alright, so when we measure the top side of the fender to the bottom of the tire, there's multiple ways you can measure this, but I just find it's easier to do it this way. From the top to the bottom, we're just at about 22 inches even. So we're gonna measure up the rear to see how much lower we have to go in the back. So we're about 23.5, so we're gonna drop it a little more than 1.5 inches because I want the rear to sit just a little bit lower. I know it's gonna have more clearance because this is completely flush. So let's lower the car. Alright, so I think we went down quite a bit. There's no real telling until we actually put the car on the ground, so let's lock it up and see where we're at. Alright, now let's see what the wheel looks like. Hopefully it's perfect and we can just tighten everything back up again. Alright, moment of truth. Did it even move?
Doesn't look like it.
I don't think it moved. All right, we'll see you guys when we're lowered. So with a little bit of movie magic, we got the rear end done in a couple of seconds, right? An hour later. So pretty happy with this ride height. It's actually just about a finger gap and a little bit higher, maybe a finger and a half in the front. This is honestly the perfect height. We just drove it down the street real quick, perfect clearance, no squeaking or anything like the blue Miata. So we're gonna continue this all on the other side. Alina's gonna roll the other fender. She's pretty confident, so I trust her. She's gonna knock that out real simple. For some reason, the rear end, if you actually come here, so we didn't lower the car at all, and it's like, well, I guess it still is a little bit higher, but it did drop significantly just because the other side was lower. So I'm gonna fiddle around with this try to lower it just about another inch. And we'll put this on a time lapse so you guys don't get bored. Oh, I don't know why I just snapped. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Unfortunately, we can't run the original BBS caps right now just because the studs here are just a little bit too long. We actually need to shave them down. We won't do that in this video though because we got more things to do. Let's drop it down, see if we're all even. Oh! What the fuck?
That's a little too low.
Alright guys, so after spending multiple hours on this, dialing in the fitment just right, we finally got the perfect fitment, in my opinion, for daily driving and some canyon carving, maybe even a couple track days. The crappy thing is because of the spacers and the studs are much longer than OEM, we have to shave those down in order to get the caps to fit right. So in a couple more videos, you'll eventually see the caps on the car, but as of right this second, this is what we're working with. Kind of like the way it looks this way. It doesn't get that clean vibe, but I think I'll get over that pretty soon. As far as fender rolling in general, it was fairly easy. The only thing that I really have to say is work slow, use a bunch of heat. Mallets are your friend. Use a rubber mallet if you can, and just take your time and be easy with it. It all went smoothly for us. No chip paint, no crease fenders or anything like that. It looks super clean. As far as fitment goes, tire to fender is exactly what we got. We lowered the car about 1.5 inches in the rear and then 1 inch in the front. We thought we weren't going to touch it, but we ended up wanting to drop the front just a little bit lower. We did that off camera, so hopefully you guys can appreciate the fitment on this one. If you like the video, go leave a like. It really helps out the channel. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at 86Schools. You can find all the builds, behind the scenes footage over there. If you're new here, my name's Sal. Consider subscribing and we'll see you next week. Take it easy.